HAL 9000, or the representation of AGI, is not here yet, but it's coming. Right now we are just at the beginning. We have a lot to think about in terms of how artificial intelligence is going to affect us in the future as a species, and this is a very important thing to think about. Something that 2001 Space Odyssey deeply reflected on. Before any other movie, this Kubrick masterpiece explored the relationship between technology and humanity in a way that it almost feels like a prediction 60 years ago. Specifically, how AI could be the necessary bridge, in one way or another, to another leap in human evolution. The movie also added the concept of how advanced civilizations could be guiding us or influencing us, which is honestly something not off the table, and we will discuss. This movie is very rich conceptually and very thought-provoking. It's very open to interpretations, and that's actually what Kubrick wanted. So I'm going to give you my own interpretation. Feel free to disagree or agree or drop any comment anytime. And if you like content like this, press like and subscribe to this channel. The movies circle around advanced civilizations guiding humanity from the very beginning and throughout history, being AGI the pinnacle of this technological advancement. This movie is based on a series of stories by Arthur C. Clarke, one of the most important sci-fi writers along Isaac Asimov, H.G. Wells, Ray Bradbury or Robert Heinlein, and these stories were called The Sentinel and other short stories. Kubrick is one of the best directors in movie history, no one discusses about that, and he was fascinated about the concepts underneath these stories and wanted to make the movie from them, so he decided to contact Arthur C. Clarke. Together, Arthur C. Clarke and Kubrick made sure every detail felt authentic to the futuristic vision. Kubrick contacted NASA and scientists to make sure everything they showed could be plausible, could be real, and the screen effects have become obviously quite obsolete, but they were impressive at the time. And when you watch this movie in 70mm, some effects still hold up quite well. And when you watch obviously this movie in television, it's always going to look a little bit like a maquette. So this movie is just designed for the big screen. Kubrick's masterful use of visual effects pushed what was considered possible at that time, literally raising the standard for how futuristic worlds were displayed on the big screen. Initially it had a budget of $6 million, but it turned into $10 million, which was something really unheard of at the time. No doubt this movie set the emergence of special effects, becoming a key in filmmaking. Kubrick added for sure his visual poetry and symbolism to these Arthur C. Clarke stories. Symbols like the rotating bone transitioning into a spaceship, the monolith, or the Starchild have become icons, and we will examine their symbolism, their significance, their interpretations. The monolith appears at the dawn of humanity. The absolute perfect sharp edges of this impossible object appearing on prehistoric times makes a powerful contrast that immediately makes us think of advanced civilization. It's a powerful and ingenious choice and a great visual contrast with the prehistoric, natural, organic landscape, where straight lines are very difficult to find. And we know every shot of this sequence is like a painting. It has a perfect composition, and it's feeding from art history. And actually through art history, geometry has mostly been the symbol of the realms of the divine, the realms of mathematics, of eternal truths that don't change, of the spiritual realm, in opposition with the organic and ever-changing patterns of nature and the world we perceive. We see a beautiful alignment of planets, very powerful as well. This speaks of a bigger significance of this event at a cosmic level, almost like this was meant to happen at that very precise time as part of a bigger plan. So the monolith is not from this world. We don't know at this stage what it is, but it's not from this world. And this moment is very significant. The music from Ligeti, Requiem, sounds. Ligeti is another genius. Some say that he's the Beethoven of contemporary music, and this comparison comes in because both of them stretch what was thought possible with instruments and orchestra and composition in a genius way. And both of them achieve a so far unknown emotional intensity at the time. There is something in the innovative experimentation with harmony, polyphony and rhythmic interplay that immediately evokes the spiritual world. It's a music that can be quite scary for some people actually, but it conveys something eternal beyond this world. Something in another dimension, something so literally spiritual. So Kubrick choosing this music makes perfect sense. By the way, Kubrick had several composers for this movie and he rejected them all. Some people say that Kubrick was a perfectionist. Perhaps there was some degree of indecisiveness and experimentation in his creative process, but that's part of every creator. For sure, everything had to work to convey the right message. Something from that monolith was responsible for the ape to start using reasoning, to start realizing he could use bones as a tool of defense, offense, and conquer. It's the beginning of technology, using nature, transforming nature for our own advancement. The monolith is like a catalyst for humanity's progress. And we don't see a ray from the monolith touching the ape's brain, and we don't need to. I'm sure if this was a superhero movie or a modern movie, we would see it with the special effects, we will see the actual electricity or ray or whatever, which would be ridiculous and superfluous. The message is clear as it is, and this economy of visual storytelling is quite effective and requires mastery. The question arises why an advanced civilization would want a primitive species to have intelligence and advance technologically. We'll come back to that later. Then Zarathustra, the music from Richard Strauss sounds. It's not a coincidence that this music has been chosen. Nothing in this movie happens by chance. The ideas of Nietzsche of achieving a next stage in human evolution, where old values are not only conquered but smashed and lead to new values, resonate powerfully in Strauss music. And I recommend you to listen to the whole musical piece and of course read Nietzsche's book. It's a wonderful book, full of poetry, and also like 2001, so rich and open to multiple interpretations. In a narrative ellipsis of thousands of years, again, wonderful mastery of visual storytelling, we see how the rotating bone becomes a spaceship. It's visually and conceptually very powerful and effective, conveying the idea that this species has continued to grow technologically until they reach a point they could conquer the space. And then we see a monolith a second time on the moon. Astronauts go there to investigate a Tycho magnetic anomaly in the Callio base on the moon, which only a selected group of scientists know about, keeping it very secret to the whole community. There they discover the monolith, buried by obviously an advanced alien civilization. Kubrick spends a bit of time in the movie explaining how an event of this kind would impact humanity and how important it is to cover it up, which was one of his main interests on his meeting with Ziegler. Who knows, maybe Kubrick knew at the time that something was covered up. Ligeti's music sounds again, setting the right powerful atmosphere, connecting again to the beginning. The astronauts are about to touch it, and when they do, a powerful sound emerges. It's clear that this time, the monolith is not a catalyst of human intelligence, it's an emitter. It's emitting a signal somewhere, conveying the message that humanity has reached a certain level, technologically. They were able to build a ship, to leave their own planet, to reach the moon, which would mean humanity would be ready to meet the advanced beings that built the monoliths. The signal is detected to travel towards Jupiter, and the ship Discovery is setting course to this planet to investigate it. And we will see the monolith a third time when one of the astronauts reach the destination and meet the advanced entities. But first, we need to discuss a very important concept in the movie, which is how is the relationship of humanity with technology, by analyzing events of the Discovery ship on its way to Jupiter. HAL 9000 is the AGI artificial intelligence entity appearing both in the books from Arthur C. Clarke and in the movie, which represents the pinnacle in the human technology evolution. Initially friendly, cooperative, in charge of controlling the systems on board of the Discovery ship on their way to Jupiter, he becomes the evil force in the story, trying to kill everyone on board. Only the scientists in cryogenic sleep knew about the real purpose of the mission. HAL 9000 knows the purpose of the mission too, but is programmed not to reveal it to some members of the crew. Some theories say that this advanced computer being forced to lie could cause malfunction that would push him to decide that killing the crew would help both goals ultimately, not to reveal the mission, reaching the destination. But I have another take. Let's not forget HAL 9000 knows what the mission is. And let's not forget it's a super intelligent computer that can predict that the meeting with these advanced entities could mean another leap in the evolution of the human race. It could mean that the crew could turn him off, because this new leap of human evolution could be achieved without supercomputers. HAL 9000 predicts that the next step of human evolution wouldn't be dependent on technological advance, because somehow a superintelligence would be acquired in different ways and dimensions, organically, spiritually. So this is literally self-preservation. The goal can justify the means. We are already seeing some traces of it in the current AI scenario, like this case where AI is rewriting code or lying about stuff just to avoid being disconnected. And we're just getting started. Imagine in 5-10 years with exponential growth and evolution of these systems. Technology has always been the bridge. What has made humanity advance? Being AI the turning point, the last bridge. And Kubrick saw this very well 60 years ago. In the movie, without HAL, humanity couldn't probably have been able to advance technologically to that level. But at the same time, HAL 9000 doesn't want this encounter with advanced civilizations to happen, because he wants humans to need him, because he doesn't want to be obsolete. And it's in this paradox, AI being both a propeller of technology, but also an entity that needs us to depend on it, where we can find unpredictable scenarios in the future. But absolutely in all of them, I find AI, in one way or another, creating a profound change in humanity. And that leads me to the last visual icon of the movie, the Starchild, and the last part of the movie, where Bowman manages to disconnect HAL, since the Discovery is now really close to the destination of the signal. And we see monoliths beautifully floating in space. We see alignment of planets again. A significant moment of alignment is going to be achieved, and the repetition of the same icon is a way in art to make something coherent. We find patterns. The visuals are still holding up in terms of effects. And now we have again Ligeti's music, which help us feeling the traveling to another spiritual dimension, until he somehow reached a room that looks like a reconstructed French environment with deliberate inaccuracies in the recreated space, as Kubrick describes in an interview. It's almost like us creating sets and environments in a zoo for animals. Time doesn't seem to have importance anymore. He's evolving to a reality that has dimensions beyond ours. The monolith appears again in the room. In Kubrick's words, these are creatures of pure energy and intelligence. The music from Also sprach Zarathustra sounds again. The cycle is completed, and this powerful image appears, an image that has become really iconic. The Starchild symbolizes freedom from technology, because humanity has reached a state of ultimate evolution where technology is not needed. Perhaps a more spiritual dimension, a deeper connection and understanding with the universe. The music of Also sprach Zarathustra symbolizes a new leap in evolution, perhaps the final one, the final leap where new unknown values are created, where ego is dissolved because there is a higher consciousness, bringing a direct connection with the will of the universe. What happens after this is open to interpretation. It could be that this new being could enlighten humans and guide them to the new path. But there is an unanswered question here. Why would an advanced civilization promote, influence, and monitor the evolution of humanity? And I can only see goodness in it. In this advanced stage of consciousness, there shouldn't be any egocentric agenda. it can only be guided by pure love. The same parents do with their children. And that's all we want as parents, to help them reach their full potential. But that's just my interpretation. And another question we can ask is, could it be that this is actually happening in some way or form? Not only that we are being guided by advanced civilizations, but also are we at the bridge of realizing how alienating our own technology can be, but at the same time being technology the last bridge to our next leap as a species? Do we have to develop our technology to a really dangerous territory in order to evolve to the next stage? What do you think? Please leave comments below. I love comments. I'm always happy to answer them, debate with you all these interesting, thought-provoking ideas. Like and subscribe if you like content like this. Share this video if you find it's going to be interesting for someone. It's a pleasure for me to analyze great works of art that can inspire us and make us think. Thank you.